In this clip here, you can see me experimenting with the Arduino IDE and the Apple HomeKit SDK. I was actually getting the HomeKit inputs to appear on the serial monitor. Got my iPhone, I've got a LED I've taken from a microbit kit, and we've got the ESP32. What we've done is we've wired up the LED and I've put in some code. We have HomeKit integration, and you can see it here updating. This is the extent of wiring up the OLED display, and for some reason I am getting quite a lot of compile error messages, so I'm gonna have to go through all this code. Okay, so I was really scared this little OLED display wasn't working, so I took the ESP32 out of the breadboard, bent some pins on the way, and we just put some new code in just to see if this is working, and it seems to be working just fine. So I just had a quick doodle on my iPad just while I was waiting for code to compile or just taking a break. This is sort of the final design I think I'm gonna go with. So we're gonna have a bottom reservoir, and then we're gonna have where all the electronics are gonna be held, and then the water will come out there. Hopefully I can implement a LED up in that area. Okay, so the temperature sensor is sort of officially hooked up. Alright, so what we have now is we've got so I've switched out the code, so basically the pump and the LED light are going to act as switches, and then we've got the temperature code, but I think what we have is a case of a faulty sensor, so I'm going to run out to JCar and get another sensor. I've already checked all the wiring, so I think that's the problem. Alright, went off to JCar, hopefully this one works. Yeah, my ESP32 was burning hot, and on closer inspections, if I can get my camera to focus, yeah, we've got some bent pins, so I suspect that it could be a board problem. I'm going to order a new ESP32, and then what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to get started on the enclosure for it, because I really don't have that much time. So I figured what I'm going to do is, start work on the enclosure, start CADing, getting dimensions, and then I'll pick up the ESP32 tomorrow and see how we go from there. So this is sort of the final design, I guess. This is sort of like, with the limited time I've got, this is sort of the best compromise that I can make in regards to being able to, use this with a variety of different sized plants. In the interest of time, of which I don't have any, I'm going to speed through this. Top plate printed out well, we've got good structural rigidity. Mid plate where all the electronics are housed, I did 0% infill, so it's not the most structural rigid, but the breadboard's going to be there, so it's not going to be really touched anyway. And then the tank is all good. The hole for the plumbing is okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal all of this up, sand it down, and then tomorrow I'm going to get the code nailed down, and then by then hopefully everything should be ready to submit. In this clip here you can just see me getting basically everything nailed down. As someone with no prior coding experience, it was actually kind of a big achievement to get the code to work fully with the display and the temperature sensor getting the readout to appear properly. And here, once everything has been nailed down, this is just a matter of cable management, making sure that everything is laid out in as logical manner as it can be, and also making sure all the tolerances are nice so I can actually put the lid on the top. Unfortunately, I actually lost footage of me testing out the pump, but I did find that it wasn't watertight, so just out of shot where the pipe meets the body, I actually did put bathroom grade silicone just so that to make sure that everything is watertight and it doesn't leak. So to wrap everything up, what works? HomeKit integration with the water pump works fantastic. The 3D printed housing, the tolerances are nice and tight, and the surface finish is actually relatively clean. The overall functionality with the Siri integration, HomeKit, water pump works very well. The water pump itself is nice and quiet, and the light provides a really nice glow. What didn't work, I would have liked to do this next time with a bigger screen, and due to the delay on parts, I actually would have liked to spend more time working on the planned functionality such as the ambient light sensor and the UV light above the plant, but due to the time constraints, I had to cut the scope of the project to be able to complete it within the due dates. The DHT11 and the OLED screen did take a while to get there, but they did work out. The wiring itself was a nightmare. Connecting multiple components up and making them all controllable within Apple HomeKit was also a little bit tricky, and unfortunately the switches are in reverse logic, and the implementation of the LED light is less than elegant. It was only like this because if it was inside, it would have cast a shadow of the internal parts. Other than that, thank you for taking the time to watch, and thank you for a great semester.